Hey guys, welcome to my tutorial. Today we're going to be taking a model straight from a PMX or PMD file directly into Blender, shaping it up there, and moving it on over to Unity for upload to VRChat. Now, the first step in all of this is making sure you have the right materials, which would be, of course, in my case, I have these. I'm going to be using Shauna from Shakugan no Shauna. Uh, if you don't know who that is, it's fine. You can choose anyone you want. This is a rather hard to get file. I requested it from the author on DeviantArt. So if you want to do that, you can. However, the same general outlying procedure is the same for any MMD model, regardless of whether it's PMX or PMD. So you're going to need your PMX or PMD file, and that is inside of this. Actually, I can get rid of this. So that's inside of here. That is right there. And these are my textures. Well, not my textures, textures that the person uploaded to work with this model. The README disclaimers and stuff. Person stating that it's their content. Don't share without permission. Note if you want to edit and all that stuff. So now, just go ahead and we need a Blender. And in Blender, we're going to need the Cats plugin and the MMD Tools plugin. Other software, we're also going to need Unity version 5.6.3p1, and you need that version specifically. You cannot have the latest version of Unity or it won't work at all. From there, you're also going to need the VRC SDK, which you can just download straight from the website. The VRC website, I believe all you have to do is log in, and it gives you a little screen. Your profile image is over here, and then about right here where I have my file placed, that would be Steam client or something like that, download, and then right next to it is SDK. That should be it. You download that, and then that'll be ready for Unity, but we're not going to worry about that for the moment. Right now we're going to worry about porting this over on into Blender. So close that out. I just navigate from here. My files are organized very odd on my PC, so excuse that, please. Okay, so here we are in Blender. This is our scene. This is the default scene. It's always set up like this. Now, we're not going to need any of this. This is all extra stuff that we can just delete. Double click A, press X, and delete. Now, double clicking A is going to select everything in your scene, as you just saw. X is our delete shortcut. And yeah, that's that for now. We're going to go ahead and, oh, actually not up there. Actually, yes, we'll need up here. So you're going to need the Cats plugin and MMD tools to be installed before you do anything. I mean anything. So what you can do is download those things. I believe there's a manual way to install them. Or you can just install add-on from file here. In my case, I've already installed it. Yeah, it's a bit hard to navigate this. Let's see. It'd be like in your name and your downloads folder for, oh, that's where I would keep it. And then somewhere in there. So you just install from zip for both of those, and then you'll see them over here at the side. Now you cannot use Cats without MMD, so don't try to take a shortcut and not install the MMD tools and just go straight for Cats, because it won't work. It will say you need it anyways, and then that's just extra time you have to spend anyways reinstalling it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and bring up our model. You do that, you just go to, oh, actually, you have to do it specifically inside of the, we're going to use Cats here. There's the manual process is going to take hours. I mean, for your first avatar, wow. For your first avatar, it could take you 2 to 3 hours just to get it set up completely after troubleshooting and all that. For this tutorial, we just use Cats, which simplifies the process of rigging or assigning the bones the correct way, making sure they're all set up properly, and a few other things. So here we go, import model. Mine is located on my desktop, so conveniently, inside of Shauna and PMD. Now, yours might be PMX. It'll show PMX. In fact, let me show you. Let's just go inside Maya. See, there's like 3 PMXs in here. You just select your PMX, which mine is right here, and you can double click it, or you can come over here, import model, and wait for it. There we go. All right, and there's our model. And it's always going to look like this at first. In this case, it seems like some of the texture is showing. Oh, I'm not sure why, but if you want to see the entire texture layout, like what it would look like if you uploaded it just like this without shaders, that would be it. You open this little plus minus, or I guess it's only a plus menu. You open this little menu, there's like a plus sign up here, you click that, and then scroll down all the way, and you'll see MMD shading. Select shadeless or GLSL. I think GLSL is nicer to work with in terms of seeing your polys, but for now I'm just going to use shadeless. It's going to make it look real nice. Looks like it already has shaders applied. And the cubeds, which we're going to use later as well. Anyway, so for now we're going to do the translation. You're going to want to do the translation first for every model. Most PMX models are made in Japanese, so you're not going to be able to, see this over here. This is what happens whenever Blender sees Japanese. It doesn't translate. It doesn't do any. It doesn't even show the original characters. So even if you knew Japanese, you'd have to, I guess, download the Japanese Blender version. I'm not even sure if that's a thing. Either way, you're just gonna go one by one. Your shapes, and bones, materials. You always want to give these a moment, make sure that they unpress themselves before you click the next one, and mesh. Alright, well, that one's taken a bit. Probably because the mesh is one of the most complicated parts of it. Okay. This is odd. Well, so most of your work is going to be in Blender for the most part. And if you ever have anything wrong in Unity, you always want to, for one, whenever you export your file, you want to make sure you never close Blender. Never. You want to have the Blender application open until you upload your avatar and you know it works. And even then, I would save as a .blend file and make sure everything you've done so far is complete. Otherwise, if in the future you realize, oh hey, I screwed up something, I want to go back and fix this, then you can easily just select that .blend file and start over from wherever you left off previously, instead of having to, oh Jesus, okay, that's nice, instead of having to completely start over from scratch, the fresh PMD file or PMX file. Oh goodness. And oh, there it goes. Lovely. Okay. And yep, you can see over here it's translated to Hatsune Miku. I'm not sure why. I guess the author used a Miku mesh when they were putting it together. So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the things that aren't necessary for VRC avatars. And that would be, well, number one, we're just going to hide the stuff that we will be using, so that whenever we select and delete the stuff that we won't be using, we'll, not get rid of what we need. So right now I'm selecting Tupper goes over it in his videos. The hands are a very nice place to select. It's just easy to make sure you don't accidentally select something else. What we're going to want to hide is the mesh, which is what you see the texture applied to, not these weird little boxes or purple, red, and green things hanging off of her. You can sometimes select the hair, I guess. What we want is what the texture is applied to. So we're going to select that, and we're going to click H, and that's going to hide it for now, so we can't edit it. You're going to see left is these weird triangular pieces and whatever else is there. Go ahead and try and, I guess, zoom in on one of the, oh goodness, triangular pieces. Make sure you select that only. And it's going to highlight all the triangular pyramid, or that's a square pyramid pieces. That's okay. You're going to want that. You're actually going to want to make sure that each one of those is selected, and then press H again. Now all this is trash right here. This saves you polys. It's not going to be used. I'm not even sure if it interferes, but it's just, you might as well delete it. Okay. So now we're going to press Alt H, and that's going to bring everything back that we hid originally. Oh, dang it. Okay, there we go. So we're going to hide the bones. Again, I'm clicking with the right mouse button, not left. Blender is all left unless you're selecting things over here. There we go. Okay, no, yeah, okay, you get the idea. And then hide this. All right, now we have our mesh. Now, in the event that you need to decimate, and in which this case it looks like I am just below the requirement here. Oh, so yes, for verts is going to be, you don't have to worry about verts. Verts is not something to worry about. Either tries and faces typically correlate. As for whenever they don't, I'm actually not sure. But your face is going to be your polys, and that's what you want to make sure is below 20,000 polys, or face. That value has to be below 20,000, basically, in order to upload to VRChat. Okay. So in this case, I'm good. I am going to cover a few things that I have found out from watching Tupper's videos that he doesn't cover, so that you will be able to, you know, not have to try to learn those things for yourself through trial and error, much like I did. So first, what we're going to want to do in order to decimate is, right now you'll notice that selecting anywhere, selecting anywhere, I'm highlighting the entire mesh here. Well, we're going to want to go over here to, not zoom into her face, go over here to the left side and click, let's see, where is it? Separate, here, I'll bring this out of it. Separate by materials, and that's that little emblem there, the upside down triangle with the joints on the end, or the balls on the end, that is your mesh logo. So everything like that is mesh. At the end, we'll use join meshes to make sure we bring everything back together. For now, we're going to press separate by mesh or materials. Alright, and that seems to have brought back our bones for some reason. Okay, and now you'll notice whenever I press this, only the hand is highlighted. And in this case, it looks like only, I don't know, maybe it isn't only the hand. So one other thing you can do is, if you want to see what is selected, you can click Tab. Tab brings up the poly view. You can see just how many polys are in the object, how, what is more poly heavy. Sometimes the hair is poly heavy. Sometimes you get lucky and you get a good model that's not very poly heavy, which is, this is great. This is a great model right here. See, so if I were to decimate, that would be one of the top areas to decimate right there. And how we do decimation is, you're going to come over here to your right panel. Sorry if I do get that mixed up. I'm not very good at left and rights. Your right panel, and if you see this bar right here, there's going to be this little bluish wrench. You're going to want to click that, and this brings up this menu. Click Add Modifier. over here underneath generate, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 selections down is going to be decimate. Okay, so now we have the decimation tool applied to our hair mesh. If I, just a note, if you have the poly selected here, you won't be able to see the changes made in real time to the mesh. So I'm actually changing the number of polys right now. You can't see it. It doesn't tell you right here. I don't think it even tells you up here. So basically what you want to do is you make sure each time you edit something in decimation, you have it unselected from the edit mode so that you can drag it and slowly and at a very minuscule level you'll begin to see things change, and more so the closer I get to the ratio of 0, 0 or 0.0. So like I said, for this one, this is a good model. The polys are really low to start with, so you won't, I mean, I could decimate it more if I wanted to get it below the 10,000, which is recommended, but to be honest, no one cares. When you upload all those avatars you find online, those are going to be above 10,000. There's no way they're going to get them below, they're going to be below 20, above 10. There's no way they're going to be below 10, or above. You know what I mean. Especially for the anime ones. There's no way you can get a perfectly curved face like this, that right there, that hair, all that done without having a high poly count and seeing those triangles or squares in your figure. Here it actually works out because the shader hides it all. But for now, like I said, I'm not applying. But in the event that you do, let's say we find a ratio at which we'd like, that's fine right there. So if I was decimating this, I'd stop to about where things get bad, like right there. I would have stopped right there and just left it like that. Now, if you click apply, modifier cannot be applied to a mesh with shape keys. Now, the funny thing is, the mesh that you have at the moment, so long as it's not the face, another note, do not decimate the face unless you absolutely have to, because you will have to remove the shape keys. But decimation of the face is a very, I advise against it. You'll find a high number of polys in the face typically with models. Again, this is a good one. Very low poly count. I advise very much against decimating the face. So again, yeah, never decimate the face unless absolutely necessary. It should be the last thing you decimate. And even in that event, you want to make sure you have at least one mesh on your object with shape keys left. So in this event with the hair, we have shape keys applied. We don't need them for this mesh. Do not delete your vertex groups. Make sure you always close that out. And that'll close it out for, I believe, all the rest of them as well. You can close UV maps, you can close vertex colors, so that are normals as well, so that this is the only thing you see. Now, you're also going to find often that you have more than just a basis shape key. You'll have all these different shapes for the mouth, the eyes, other things like that. And again, they typically only apply to the face. In this event, we can just click the minus sign, since the hair isn't going to use any facial animations, or I guess you could say. And then you're able to click apply. Now, I'm not going to press it because it would apply, and I want to make sure I upload this since it's at, oh wow, yeah, okay, see, it seems untouched. This is 3,726 polys, and by decimating that, I brought it down to about 15,000, which is great. That's pretty good. I'm actually surprised that many are in the hair and not in the body itself. But anyway, yeah. So decimation, you slowly go one by one. Stuff like hair, you decimate hair. It's always something good to start with, because you'll have this, and you'll find some pieces can just be straight like this, line of connections right here that could be turned straight and connected directly from this set to that set. It will make it look a little bit more blocky, but again, you know, you have a limit of 20k polys. Another thing that's always decimated is shoes. In this, I think it's okay. Yeah. Again, below poly, your shoes are going to be way more advanced than mine. I like to add decimation tools just to see how many polys are in it. 372. That's amazing. That's typically what I bring my shoes down to whenever I have something higher. The soles, there's always soles of shoes. Sometimes you can delete these soles entirely and no one would notice. No one would notice. Sometimes you'll be able to squeeze out an extra 1,000 polys out of that. In this case, it's again 288, so that's fine. Stockings sometimes leave the stockings, but one other thing you can check the skin. Again, now decimating any skin is typically a bad thing, unless you want to avoid decimating it. You want to, however, deleting faces manually is okay. Now what I mean by that is you actually select the faces you want to delete. In this case, I'm going to show you how to delete stuff under the clothing. So for say, she has in this event, well, I'll show you. So right down here at the bottom, whenever you have your edit mode selected where you can see your polys, right down here at the bottom, this little box guy right here, it looks like the mesh texture, like a boxed version of the max texture, basically. You click that and you can see through your other meshes, and that is extremely handy. So here we can see that the underwear are one mesh, and that's great. Some models will have actually very high detailed nether regions, in which case you have to go in and delete that entire area, because you're not going to need it. You want your model to be as PG as possible. Anyway, like I was saying, in this event there is no skin mesh beneath the leggings here, which is great. It means we don't have to delete anything. In the event that you did have skin mesh further down, you just make sure you don't delete high enough so that you can see it past the stockings. You shouldn't see holes in your character. Because let's see, yeah, they could extend down here. I've even had models where the legs are entirely done. They come all the way down to the shoes. They have the toes made, the the toenails on them. It's crazy, and you can shave off tons of polys just from that. In this case, like again, don't need it. And how you do that? Let's say I want to delete. Well, let's look. An odd set of skin mesh right there in the shirt that we could get rid of. Say I wanted to delete this. I'd bring up this little circle tool. Very handy little thing. Oh, I've clicked a button. That's not good. There we go. Select the skin again. It's still selected. Okay. Well, anyway, bring up this little circle tool, and the circle tool allows you to select whichever polys you want, whichever you drag it over. It's like a paint tool, and the Windows application, which name, I think it's literally just paint. You can just select each one of those. In the event that you don't want to select something, you press the middle mouse button and it deselects it. Okay, in this event we have we're looking through the model, so we have to be very careful. Make sure we know what we're selecting to delete. We're just gonna press the C key and select the vertices that we don't want. That looks good. Yep, that'll be fine. Alright, so from here we can just press X and vertices. Sometimes you want to play around. Instead of pressing vertices, you press edges, faces even. I think that's an option. And just play around with that, see what you can get. Here I deleted a few. It didn't look like they were being used. You definitely can't see them from underneath the skirt, so it's not going to matter. You can't see them from up the sleeves. You can't see them from this angle. So I'm going to Control Z. There we go. Again, deselect it. And there we go. That's how you manually delete stuff, faces. And oh, one more note. In the event that you do have a, let's say, the head up here, see how the head is, okay, maybe this one's not, but if you have a head that is completely done, goes all the way around, that sucks. Don't decimate it. Don't delete it. And here's why. Because if you delete too much, you're going to wind up cutting off, you're going to confuse the textures, and the textures aren't going to be applied in the right way, or they may not even apply. I've had it done before where I cut it out almost similarly to this, as much as I could get out of the head mesh without getting the front of the face, and imported it. The face was completely blank, no texture. Alright, so now at this point, say we've got our polys down to a good count, 19, 10, if you can do 10,000, that's great. You can do 10,000 and it's an anime character like this one, and you're at 10, that's amazing. Your load times are going to be great. Otherwise, you might just take a little bit longer for, you know, higher poly characters. Alright, so say we've already decimated everything to our liking. We have our shoes done, all that we need. Or in the event that you already have a character that doesn't need decimation like I do, you won't need to bring together the meshes like I am about to myself. So I believe I haven't done this in cats yet. I believe if you just press join mesh, it brings it all together. Yes, beautiful. Right. Again, hide the bones. Just double check that we brought it all together. It's good. Over here in our hierarchy view, just to look, you should only have one orange object here directly connected to the, on this line. Only one. If you have two, double check that the other object is necessary. Typically it's not. It'll be like a dot up here somewhere in your character. You can play around with it, hide it, and see if it does anything. In the event that it does not, you can just go ahead and delete it. That does lead to errors. If you keep it, it will lead to errors to where literally you will take the model into VRChat or Unity and try to upload it, and it'll say this model is too large for this box. Decrease the size. You'll decrease it so much that eventually it'll basically tell you your model is too small and too large. And I've had this error message before, and it's because I left some extra piece of the model outside of the main mesh. And it looks like it has managed to revert back to Japanese. I guess I'll click meshes one more time. Oh, okay. Again, I'll do bones again because it looks like the armature is messed up. Did I miss it? I'll just press all of these again just in case. Oh, it'd probably help if I have the entire thing selected. Oh, crap. I don't know if I went over this earlier. If you select, or if you press B, you get this boxed view, or this weird crosshair on the screen, and that allows you to drag and box select everything. In this case, yeah, I used that earlier, I believe. Okay. Okay. So we go ahead and do bones again. Maybe that'll work. No, that is odd. Oh, it renamed shape keys. There was only one of those. I don't know why it took it forever. Okay. It seems to not be wanting to Oh, okay. Never mind. I guess it already did. Waste of time. My bad. Alright. So now we're going to be dealing with the armature. And that is the bones, rigging. You ever heard of those terms? That's what we're doing right here. Alright, so now I want to do that. I'm going to want to select our entire character. I missed something there. I don't think it mattered. But anyway, you're going to see now, instead of the little wrench icon, you're going to have this character pose. That's the armature button, I guess you could call it, and our bones. Right? Neat little thing. Now, right now, you'll notice you cannot see the bones inside of her body, and that's because, well, obviously they're inside of her body. You can't see through the mesh. It's not transparent. It's actually textured. That's fine. We're going to click X-ray. Looky there. We can see all the bones. That's a bit odd to say, but you know what? It's true. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is bones, obviously. Bones are part of the human body that help us move. They're not part of hair. They're not part of skirts. And definitely not part of your eyeballs. But that's okay, because these MMD models use those to move those parts. Where you have muscle for moving your eyeballs, MMDs have bones. Where you have, I'm not even going to say for the hair because it doesn't really matter. You get the general idea. So from here, we are prepared to go over to cats and select our fix model. Now what this is going to do is it's going to rig up the model so that it's ready to be ported over into VRChat or Unity directly, and VRChat will understand immediately what the model is rigged to do. In which case, the humanoid rigging. So we'll go ahead and again, or you can do this, or you can double tap A, and that'll bring up all the stuff, and you can just click Fix Model. You'll notice I got rid of a few bones there. I actually, I'll make another model later. I'm not gonna. This won't be my main one. So it got rid of the hair bones in the front. That's personally what I would have liked to keep. But generally, it does keep the main bones for hair and stuff, and that's good. That's good for dynamic bones later. Again, I'll go over that in another video. It's not important for now. We're just going to get a very simple avatar uploaded. So you'll see we have here, we have our hip bone. Oh, we get edit mode. We have our hip bone in our armature view. Hip bone. Your hip bone is going to lead to your spine. Actually, you know what? It seems to have messed up. This is why I don't like cats. You can't always rely upon it. So, in this event that your hip bones, for some very odd reason, haven't mapped to... I'm an idiot. Never mind. They have. Again, though, I'll just go over that. In the odd event that your hip bones haven't mapped to your legs haven't mapped, or okay, think. If your legs are not children, meaning under the directory of, you move this and you don't see anything named legs here. In this case, I have left leg and right leg, which is good. If you don't see that, that's bad. You need to look for your legs because they're missing. And some events you can you can select the bone, and let me expand this a bit. See, if I had this selected, hips closed, you could see all of the bones that are in here. However, you'll notice that whenever I select that, there's only one bone inside of armature. So you will have to do a bit of searching. If you see that, that means you've found the the parent bone, and then there's the bone you selected. All right, and you want to make sure your legs lead to your knees and lead to your ankles. Sometimes you will have toes. Toes again aren't required. I think this one gets rid of them. It will lead to very weird bugs where your character's standing on tippy toes. As far as I know, I've heard it got fixed in this version of Cat's plugin, but I'm not sure. I don't trust Cats completely. This is just an easy rundown of how to get it into Unity as quick as possible. So left leg, left knee, left ankle. Perfect. All right, and then we'll have skirt front, all that. I'll teach you how to group those later. For now, we're going to make sure our spine goes to our chest, which goes to our neck, which goes to our head, which goes to, sometimes you'll have left eye, right eye. Actually, that might be a standard. And then you'll have, hairs if you have hair. And I'm not sure what head flip is. You'll be fine without touching that. So, generally, you should be good. You're ready to go at this point. You could go ahead and export this as an FBX and edit Unity, but right now I'm going to set this up for a future tutorial. We're going to take these bones, the skirt bones, and we're going to put them, we're going to parent them to one, a duplicate of the hip bone, so that we can use them for dynamic bones, make the skirt move and stuff later on. So right now, what we're going to want to do is, you see how the hip bone is the parent of the skirt bones and stuff? We're going to go ahead and select the hip bone. Bring your cursor out over here. Your cursor, it doesn't matter where your cursor is in Blender. Bring your cursor over here into the view, and we can click space. Space brings up a search option. Now we're going to search duplicate. And in this case, we're dealing with armature. We're going to duplicate the armature selected. We're not dealing with particles or objects or screen or whatever that says right there. We're dealing with armature, so we're going to duplicate this bone. Look at that. Lets me drag it around. Don't flip out. That's okay. Press escape. See, places it right back where it was. Now you have two of these hip bones now. However, you're going to notice this one doesn't have any children. This one does. It shows you the bones on the side. That's good. I'm going to rename this to skirt root. That's great. All right. And now what we need to do is open our hips bone, select our skirt bones. Again, I'm using left click, or I'm holding down shift and left clicking the bones over here in the hierarchy. Select each one that has to do with skirt. And then very lastly, you want to select skirt root. And then we're going to click, or we're going to, again, spacebar. You always want to make sure that the last one you select is the one that you want to add the children to. Anything you select before will be marked as children of the last one selected. So I'm going to bring it over here, space, and instead of duplicate, we're going to look at parent. Again, we're dealing with armature. We're going to make a parent, not clear parent, make parent. Okay? Don't click these won't work. We're not dealing with objects. I suppose we are, but at the moment we're rigging it. So we're going to click armature. It's going to bring up connected and off, keep offset. Connected, don't press connected. Do not press it. You will control Z immediately. And I'm not going to do it. I don't, you know what, whatever. Yeah, it does that. At this point, it would be worse generally if you had more bones connected. But for now, that is, it's not what we want. So we want them to be right there. So we're going to make parent armature and keep offset, and that'll keep them in their place. So now we have the skirt root and the hips. But what we want to do now is make sure that skirt root is a child of hips. We're going to bring it over, or we're going to look over here. We're going to click to the right of the armature box. I'm going to click the bones, and you scroll down a little bit, you'll see, excuse me, close transform, those bendy bones, and you'll see parent. Now you can just type in whatever you want the parent to be. In this case, it's hips, since we duplicated the hip bone for this. And that, literally all I did was press hips, click on it, and it, or type hips and click on it, and it made skirt root a child of hips. Now this is great right here. In the ideal setup, you will have 3 bones, 4 or more if you have roots connected. Actually, you shouldn't even have 4. You should have, or you shouldn't even have more than 4. You should have 4 at most, ideally. Any more would be, something advanced. But for now, 3 at least. If you have 2, go back, rewind, check that you followed the steps, because if you don't have left leg, right leg, or spine, something's messed up. Might want to follow Tupper's tutorials as well. Those are helpful. Everything I've learned is actually from him, so, well, him and a little bit of troubleshooting myself. Now, open up spine. My throat is killing me. It's very dry at the moment. And chest, there's not going to be much under chest, or spine besides chest. There should only be chest, actually. If you have other things, like maybe a ribbon. No, ribbons would be attached to your chest too. So I'm just going to open chest. See, we have the ribbon here. Sarah. What is Sarah? Oh, it's her little cape thing on the back of the uniform. I don't know if that's what they call it in whatever. But okay. So you'll notice these aren't the same thing. The ribbon and the back piece are completely different. The skirt was one piece. That's fine. We can go ahead and click these. Actually, first, you want to make sure you do duplicate your chest bone. We're going to duplicate armature, escape. Again, we're going to go over here, shift select each one that we want to be put into the, oh crap, actually, rename this, just name it chest root for now. Of course I don't name it root, I just name it chest. Chest root, there we go. Again, make that a, or you can do this ahead of adding the children. You can make it a child of the bone we just duplicated, which was chest. Chest, there we go, we have chest root. Select, shift select those. Select the parent bone last, and make our parent here. Armature, make sure you select armature. And keep offset. Always keep offset. Unless you want to make a really messed up character, then you can go ahead and click connected. Okay, we're good. We have our chest root. We have our skirt root set up. Now we can set up the hair. Go to head, same procedure. Head, duplicate, armature, escape, rename. Let's name it hair root because that's a common thing to name it. So I'm going to go ahead and select. Don't worry about head flip. So we're just going to select our, that's our eyes. We're going to select our hair. And then select your hair root last. You're going to press space and parent. Armature, make parent. Keep offsets. And then we're going to click on hair root and make it a child of head, not neck. That is good. There we go. At this point, you are done with Blender, as far as I believe. I'm worried about this bone. Where's that mapped? I'm just going to check this right quick. Let's see. Oh, and again, you should have left shoulder, left arm, left elbow, and left wrist. In the event that you don't have that, that is not okay. So here it looks like it's trying to give dynamic bones to the sleeve, which isn't necessary. It's so tiny you won't even notice it. And we're just going to ignore that. If you wanted, if you managed to get this file or this model and you want to delete that, you can go ahead and just delete it. At this point, I'm just going to close that, close it, and close all of this. That way we have just our armature. And we're done with Blender so far. I believe if you want to add visemes, you can add visemes. I've had bad experience with visemes before. You can go ahead and just click create. There's no point in, I guess, not doing it because there's no downside. It just makes something from nothing in case you want to add them later. Bone parenting, we're not going to need that. Supporters and credits can close. Updater optimization. Eye tracking. You should be fine with that eye tracking. We'll go over that later. Yes, I do mean we'll save this file as or export as an FBX, save it as blend as well, and then open the blend up later and add eye tracking. For now, we're just going to file. I am terrible at this. Please stop. Export FBX, and you're going to want to find where you have the original file. You want to always do this. Do not just go straight into your assets folder for Unity project and put it in there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's good. Ignore me. Listen to what I'm saying now. We're going to put it in the original folder where our original PMX or PMD file is. I'm going to name it Shauna. Actually, just Shauna, because I didn't use PMX for editor. Don't worry about what PMX editor is. Shauna.fbx. Perfect. Now, in the event that you don't see anything here, that's fine. You might see some texture folders. That's a good thing if it's for the right model. Anyways, in my case, they're in the same folder as the FBX or the PMX. Just export. Okay, and we're good. Again, do not close your Blender until you have uploaded your avatar. If you need to come back and edit something, it will save you time. If you didn't save it .blend, then you were screwed. You have to start over from the beginning of the video, and that sucks. Okay, so now we will have Shauna on the desktop. Look at this. Open this, and there she is. Mine, I have a preview pane set up, so I can go ahead and, if it'll load, I'm not going to wait on that to load. If it does, it'll show a little picture, but yeah. So now we have the .fbx. We can go ahead and open up another folder, or File Explorer. I'm going to navigate to, actually, you know what? No. Let's open up Unity. Go open up Unity for me. And we'll do it right there. Again, 5.6.3p1. I have 64 bits. I think you have to match it to your PC's. What is it doing? You have to match it to your PC's requirement. If your PC is 64-bit, you need 64. If you have 32, you need 32. In this case, I have 64. I'm just going to start that up. I'm sorry for my rambling, by the way. I just want to make sure everything works correctly. Okay, you'll see I have a fuck ton of projects. That's because I myself was trying to get this to work and made a new project each time until I eventually got it to work, and all my avatars are in this one. You can add as many avatars as you want in one project folder, upload them, and it will upload them individually, and that's fine. Right now I'm going to make a new one so that you can see what it would be like if you started from completely nothing. I'm going to name this video, just so I know in the future it's for video, and I can go in here and delete it later if I need to. And we're going to create project. You want 3D. 3D. You can add asset. No, don't click add asset package. I'm going to go over that later. Organization. That might not be selected for you. And then create project. Okay, I'm going to close this out. just wait for it to open, set up all that stuff, and beautiful. Look at this, empty project. Okay, now, very first thing we're going to do, over here, yes, over here, down here, where it says assets, you're going to want to right click it, show and export. There's many ways of doing this. I like doing it this way because it shows you, I guess, the file explorer itself. Double click assets, which is again right there. Double click assets, and now you're in your assets folder. Whatever you want to include in the project, your files you want to put, or your folders with your .pmx files or your .fbx files in there, put them in here completely with the textures. Do not remove your textures. You want the textures in here as well, but in the same folder as your .fbx, because that'll make it organized. I'm going to pull up my other window. See how unorganized I am. I have two of these open. It's on my desktop. I am going to drag and drop. Actually, no, do not drag and drop. You want to copy and paste. Dragging and drop, you will lose your original files. Then you never know what's original and what's not, what's been edited by Unity. So we've copied it. It's over there. That's good. I'm going to minimize this so that Unity will automatically import that. Look at that. It's importing shauna.fbx. It will take a while, especially depending on how good your CPU is. Mine is okay. I have a relatively good CPU in it. It still lags out sometimes. So if it freezes, don't freak out. Let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. And in the meantime, oh, actually, yes, in the meantime, let's go open up Chrome. And we're going to go to the VRChat website. Literally just search VRChat. There it is. And this is the main view. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure you have an account, because you cannot upload avatars without an account. You can't use Steam. You cannot use your Steam account to upload avatars. It does not work. They will not. Steam accounts will not have avatars at all. They will have the default ones. So you want to log on. In this case, I already have an account. If not, you click register, add your credentials, press that, and I think you have to confirm it in your email, all that good stuff. I'm just going to log in. This is what it would look like. That's my character. That's Maya. This is what it looks like on your screen. Again, like I said, Steam client and your SDK. You want to make sure you get the SDK. Alright, and then once that's done downloading, you'll notice that's a Unity package. Now there's two ways you can do this. Okay, this is interesting. It's going to take a while. There's two ways I typically put the VRC SDK in there. Sometimes I'll manually put it in the assets folder. Another thing you can do is just run it. It'll automatically install the stuff into the project you're working on, unless you have multiple versions open. Alright guys, so I haven't changed much here. All I did was open the assets folder, drag the SDK Unity package file inside, run it from there, and it installed. Now I have the VRC SDK folder right here and the Shauna folder right there. So that's the only difference that was made. And I'm going to close this. Alright, so it took a while, not sure why, but here we go. We have our model. You can go ahead, click them, drag them out into the field, and first thing we're going to want to do is sizing. Now your character, or at least my characters, because I don't set the scale, alright, haven't set the scaling before, my characters are actually pretty large. However, what you want to do first is position them to exactly 0, 0, 0 on the plane, so they're in the center. Now we can go to scale. Shauna is a rather short character. See, so, the scale is 1 right now, which is about 4 times the size of an average avatar in the game. If I put it about 0.5, she would be as tall as many of the other ones in game. So I'm going to do 0.35 as my scale. And of course, it's just a trial and error. The first one especially. First avatar is going to be, what you center everything else around. Alright, so there we go. I'll stick with 0.35, and that should be good. And then we're going to click our avatar again, so that you see this. Okay. We don't need the skinned mesh renderer right now. We don't need that. You want to make sure. You also want to make sure you don't have two in here. Sorry if that confused you. That was I had dragged it in previously or earlier and then removed it just for the sake of demonstration. But you want to make sure you have that selected. You can open it, and then whenever you select body, it'll bring up this texture view. And you'll probably notice right now my character is see-through on some parts. Yeah, this is an issue. You load into a game like this, you're only going to see stockings, maybe the shoes, her bald head from the front, the whites of her eyes. It'll look terrifying, basically. So, in order to fix that, we're going to go over here to our materials, shaders, and make sure they're all set for opaque. Occasionally, when you get an eye skin or an eye material, however, they will need to be set to transparent. However, that's only some models. You can play around with these and see what works for you. I think this one requires opaque. Yes, that's the actual. This is just a PNG file or something like that. Again, opaque. Make sure that's selected. What is this? Material 3. Must be the necklace there. Alright, we're going to close that out. Material 4 set to opaque. Must be the other part. We only really need to focus on these really clear parts set. Those were our underwear. Let's go to outfit 4. Make that opaque. Changing very minimal things right now. Oh, those must have been the leggings or something. Continue. Outfit Shauna. Opaque. There you go. See, a very good portion of it just came in on that one. Oh, definitely the hair. This is going to help a lot. Perfect. And I think that one's good. And that one opaque. And the very last one, it appears to be, I'm not even sure what this does, but oh, it's the outlining. Okay. Now, they should all be opaque. You should be able to see them clearly. And that's a good thing. Just take a look. Looks good. Looks good. Okay. Now for this specific model, I didn't mention in the beginning, I want to add cubeds because cubeds manages to make all of the anime-orientated models look better. I don't really know how to explain it. It's just that's how it works. All right, so I'll download it from the internet. I don't know why I'm trying to go there. So you can just do this. You can type in cubeds shaders, and you should get cubed or cubed, however you want to say it. You should get cubed paradox, cubed shaders or Unity shaders, whatever. Just click that. And you want to click clone or download. That'll let you download the entire folder here and download a zip. All right. And again, do I already have one open? Yes, I'll just use this. Navigate to your, that was far in there. Navigate to your assets folder for your project. I'm going to open this folder. And all you have to do is drag this master folder into the assets folder. Wait for it to load. It says 1 because I already have a duplicate, or I already have the original of most of these. Just doing this so everyone viewing this knows the correct way to do all this. We can close cube edge shaders. Okay, I'm just going to import that. Hopefully very quickly, not like the other two imported. I had to skip that part. Alright, the folder's shown up. That's good. Let's go over here to where it says standard. You're going to click that, and right below you're going to see cubed paradox. And that's good. That's good. You're going to go over and first you want to select unit shadowed for each one. You notice it highlighted the skin there, made a little bit, wow, little bit lighter. There we go. I can speak. And then we're going to set all of them to, it might take me a while because I have multiple of these. There we go. Alright, and here we are again. All I did change was, again, I went from the first one, the unit shadowed, and I selected flat lit tune for each one. And you have to do unit shadowed first, and then flat lit tuned, so it'll apply the correct way. And one extra thing that you can do, make it look better, is down here. This will be selected to none, the outline mode. Typically, adding this makes it it will make it look better, and by default it's set to 0.2. I change it to 0.1 just because it's just looks good to me. You can fiddle with that around if you like, but as you can see, it is looking good. Perhaps if I deselect the out, there we go. Yeah. So there you go. Right, select the body again, and there we go. And we're done with shading. Now this is, you only have to do this if you have a character that is, like I said, anime orientated, and you want it to look a bit, I guess, better than the GLSL shading, or the non-shading, whatever it is. If you want it to look better, just follow this, add the cube beds, and the outline mode. Now anyways, we're going to move on to adding our, I don't think this is important for now. We don't need that. So we're going to focus on, the descriptor, yes. Make sure we select the main character. We're going to select scripts, VRC SDK2, and where is it? There it is, avatar descriptor. And that's going to spawn this little ball up here. And what you want to do is you want to set that ball directly in between the character's eyes and at their height. So you can set it at whatever angle you think might best help you. Let's see. And then you just kind of play around with these values. 0.3. Oh, you need less than that, so 0.2. Looks good. Let's add 3 to that. Oh, let's add a 3 to that. No, maybe a 5. Oh, we're going to delete them. There we go. And actually, I'm going to put this at a 0.245. Yeah. No, maybe just 2.4. Sorry, I'm rather picky with this one. I want to make sure it's at the right height. Anyway, the last one I've done, I think I typically do 0.115, and it works relatively well. So some people say that the dot is supposed to rest in the nose, kind of, and stick out. Some people claim it's supposed to be in front of all this hair and stuff so that you're not seeing the hair. It's up to you, truly. Play around with it, see what you like, and if it fits you, good. For me, on my Maya character, I think I have it set a bit too low, or maybe inwards too much, or something like that. You can kind of like see through her shirt, the shaders and stuff. Don't apply the other side of the texture there so you can see through the shirt and all that. But yeah, that's how you set that up. And of course, if you have a female avatar, you can choose female. The differences between the female and the male is like the way they sit. There's a very slight difference in how they walk. Stuff like that. Now, so for now we're gonna leave this to auto detect. It'll do jaw flat blend shape. That's for another tutorial. That's how you set up the visemes. Is you drag and drop your mesh right there, and then sets all that up for you. But right now we're just gonna focus on this. Just uploading actually. All right. So we have our character. We have made sure she has the shaders. And another important thing we need to do, this is actually probably the most important thing we need to do. Go to your character, make sure all this is closed actually, so we just have the, there we go. Select your character, go over here to where it says Model, Select. Press Select. You're going to make sure this is set to, or not generic, humanoid. If that's not set to humanoid, your character will T-pose just like this, no matter of what you do. You could sit, it looks like this. You walk, looks like that. Stand still, you're gonna look like that. Nothing will change. All right, and now I'm gonna go ahead and go inside of the configure. It'll ask you to save. Do this. This is an important step. I just like to call it player field. So player field. Enter. And yes, apply. Okay, back again now. It seems to have loaded in. No promises on its ability to be stable from here on out. I mean, this is mine. I'm not sure what's causing it to take so long, but you know what? Since I'm recording, I can just cut it. Okay, so that's an interesting bone placement for the hair. Anyway, what we want to look at now is make sure that our bones are all connected properly. Thanks to the cat's plug-in, we should be fine. Sorry, not trying to get shirt shots here, or skirt shots. You should have your thumbs, your hand bone, your you should only need an index and a proximal. No. The distal is attached to the end of it, and you can't really. There's no bone for it. I'm not sure why. I'm sure someone who knows more about bones and riggings and weight painting and all that to be able to tell you. However, yeah, your bones should all be green, much like this one. And it looks like there's something odd going on here. Okay, it's grouped that one bone. Remember that one that was the sleeve? Looks like it's grouped it inside of the wrist here, or the elbow. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. Left arm, left elbow, left wrist. That's how it was structured. Anyway, that's fine. Right now, what we want to focus on is the spine. The spine is a big problem for many people. What you will find is that if your character is jutting out its pelvis, like it's, I don't know, trying to get the person in front of it to, I guess, pick him up or something like that. I don't know. If your character is jutting out its pelvis, bending forward, bending backwards, the basic, what you want to do is you want to select the spine bone. As you see, it shows up here what I've selected. Select the spine bone, and you just want to go ahead and take this yellow slider. It might be different on yours. It should be yellow for Y. I think this is the Y-axis. You just want to move it up just ever so slightly, and you may have noticed it did move my character. It did cause a bit of stuff to change. However, that's okay. It's only changed by a little. It's nothing too visible. I think even after a certain degree, it stops moving. Here, I'll test. Oh, okay, maybe not. That's a bit odd, but yeah, okay, that's another issue right there. I'll go ahead and point this out while I'm kind of in this mode. See how it says character is not in T-pose? Well, that doesn't specifically mean that anything is wrong. It just means that, or any of the bone rigging is wrong. It just means that your character isn't positioned into the T. So it's possible that all of your bones are perfect. They're all connected like this. One or two of them are red over here in the 3D view, but over here they're fine. That can happen. And what you basically have to do is switch between the rotation tool up here in the top left. That's rotation. That is your axis, I guess. You can move it up, down, left, right, and that rotates it. What you have to do is you have to rotate the arms, whatever piece is out of alignment, and you have to put it so that they're all aiding the character stand into a T-pose. For this one, it did it really nicely. It was already in a T-pose. Anyway, so for now, move your spine up a bit. Not too much, or you'll look like a giraffe with his neck as his waist, arms on your head, and yeah, so that's good right there. And then you just go ahead and click apply. And I believe mine is going to do the extraneous loading again, unfortunately, so I'll see you guys in just a moment. Okay, hi guys, we're back. I don't know why it seems to be taking that long to save everything that we change and import all the models, but oh well. Okay, so at this point we are basically done. Wait, there we go. Open that, we have our character. She's got the descriptor, the pipeline manager that automatically gets on there, animator that you don't got to worry about that. She's the right size, or at least should be, and we've rigged her correctly. Now, I want to go over something that typically a lot of people miss just from, I guess, it's not really, how do you put this? It's not specified anywhere that you have to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and sign into my account. This is not my Steam account. This is my VRChat account. I'm going to do all of that and sign in. Okay, now you notice this. It looks like a bunch of useless stuff. It says you are logged in, your current release, account, log out, the API. You know, some of you won't even know what APIs are. If you know, good for you. Publish, you could look at that. And then there's this thing, VRChat client, installed client path. And you notice it says, well, for me, it's going to be D because I have a secondary hard drive on my computer, a SSD. It says games, Steam, Steam apps, common, VRChat, VRChat.exe. What does this mean? Well, you need to know where your VRChat.exe is installed so that you can have the actual SDK connect to your VRChat game. In the event that you have the non-Steam edition, it should just be under games or the main root or something like that. Either way, what you need to do is you need to make it so that the first letter on this is either C, D, whatever it's installed under. If you've renamed it, relettered it, whatever you want to call it, you need to make sure that at the very end here you have VRChat.exe. You need that, else it'll say pushing those upload speeds or future-proofing content forever. It will never get out of that loop. So you can go edit. Like I said, mine's already done. It's in documents right now. You just navigate there, you click vrchat.exe, and you press open, and it'll automatically assign it. So that, oh, yeah, okay, no, I have to do it now, so we'll just do, see, games, Steam, where is it? Steam apps, common, and you find VRChat and VRChat.exe. and that's set up. That's all you have to do for that. And that's an issue that a lot of people have. Okay, and we can go ahead and close that out. Actually, you know what? Because I like to have that over there. Okay, now we're going to show build control panel. There we go. It shows our character for us. What I'm doing here is I'm just dragging these down here. You can set them almost anywhere in Unity. I prefer to have them down here. However, it's up to you. It may look a little different depending on how you do it or where you place it. Anyway, for me, yeah, here we go. Now, I'm not sure why it seems the poly count has dropped. That should be fine though. Anyways, yeah, we should be fine. Okay, and this is the only warning we have. It'll give you this regardless if you're over 10,000, close to 20,000. You basically just ignore it. Here we are. The magic button, build and publish. Now, as soon as you press this, it's going to run you through some extra stuff just to set it up for in-game. Bunch of stuff. We go ahead and press that. And hopefully it won't export for years. In the event that it does, I'll just cut this part. Okay, come on. There we go. Okay. Alright, that worked out really well. Name your avatar. This is obviously Shauna. And the description, I'll put Shauna from Shakugan no Shauna. You have to put the above information is accurate, and I have rights to upload the content to VRChat. You know, just click it. Oh, one other thing. If you have this camera view and you want to adjust it any, it's easy. You just go over here to scene, and you look around for a bit. Might be a bit laggy. I'm not sure what mine is. Grab this camera object right here, and you use the axis to move it in, move it down. In some cases, you might even need to move it sideways. Here it's fine. Oh, until I messed it up. And that's good. I like that. Perfect. And then you just click upload. And look at that. Now we're going to wait for this to upload. And as soon as this is done, go ahead and check it out in game. In fact, there's nothing much left to do here, so I'll see you guys in game. Alright. Oh. Alright, there we go. I didn't mute that in game so we could see the difference here. So this is my Maya character. She's pretty much done. She's got the blinking, her her mouth moves based on my own voice. Still needs some work. There's a few things I could change. However, we'll just see the Shauna one that we just imported. Put that up, and there we go. It's actually very good sizing. Now you'll notice one that the mouth isn't moving, of course. Now that's a different process. If we wanted to do that, we might have to go back into Blender. I'm not sure for this character. It takes a little bit of inspection to find out. But so far it's looking pretty good. So I'll use this model a bit more in the future. As you can see in the hair, it kind of needs it just kind of juts up based on where the head is. Which, if you look up, it's just going to go through your body. Let's see, do we have the camera over here? Let's grab the camera. See what that looks like. Come here. There we go. Oh, yeah, I'll show you from here. So you look up, and it kind of goes through your body. You look back, it's like stiff. I'll go get the other camera for that one. Yeah, so yeah. That's what it looks like. But I had a tutorial for dynamic bones later. I'm not sure actually because of how this one was, if it even will have mouth movements or blinking. Worst case scenario, I use my other, be quiet Siri, I use my Maya character because that's the one I've done it on already, and I'll just make a copy. So yeah, that's how you do it, guys. And if you have any questions, let me know in my Discord. I will gladly help you. Just message me on whichever way you can, and wherever I upload this to, I guess. In case of YouTube, just send me a message. Basically, my Discord is the same name. Just look me up there, and you'll probably find me. In the event that there's someone else named this, then I have no idea. But yeah, so good job, and yeah, see you guys later.